Thought we'd get an afternoon read today. I call in all of my divine, beloved guides, guardians, beloved angels, and ancestors. I call in the divine Father, Son, and Holy Spirit to assist me with this read. This read is going to be what's going on in the ghetto read. What's going on with the karmics in the ghetto. I've had a long time to think about some of this, and I wanted to mention something in this reading, and I will discuss it after the reading. But let's see what the cards have to say. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords in the upright. That's too many for sure. Way too many. Oh man, it's throwing a lot of cards at me. Hold on. Today's Thursday, and I'm working with him today, and he has some things to say as well. So he's helping me out with this read, as is many others. Mother Mary's helping me, Hecate, Nana Freya, my grandma. All the spirits are here. First card, the Fool. In the reverse, foolishness, fear of the unknown, poor judgment, inexperienced. So that's the first card. What's going on in the ghetto? What's going on with the karmics in the ghetto? What are they up to today? What's the plot? What's the plan? Guaranteed they're plotting right now, just like I'm reading right now. What's going on in the ghetto? With the karmics. Six of Wands. And it's not in the upright. It's upside down. Failure, disgrace, self-doubt, pride, following the crowd, and betrayal. Well, imagine that, collective. Imagine that. Nine of Swords. And it is also in the reverse. Light at the end of the tunnel. Recovering. Improving. Letting go of negativity and stress. The next card, Passion. Knight of Wands in the upright. Being hasty. Quick decisions. Ambition. Negotiators, debaters, energetic people. Competitors, sportsmen, those who love a challenge. So that is actually this card, Knight of Wands, is Passion. The Nine of Swords is anxiety, reconciliation for the Six of Wands, and the Fool is a maybe. Go figure. Clarify the Fool. Clarify the Fool. The Fool is clarified by the Five of Swords. The Fool is having conflict, loss, betrayal, tension, dishonor, ego, manipulation, victory at a cost. Hostility, resentment, humiliation, bitterness, power struggle, self-interest, aggression, recklessness, revenge, disagreement, isolation. So the Fool has been defeated. Clarify, Six of Wands, please, and thank you. Clarifying, the Six of Wands, Two of Pentacles, multitasking, juggling priorities, it's in the upright. Uncertainty, choices, trade-offs, ups, downs, skillful handling, I almost said skillful handbag. Skillful handling, profit and loss. Oscillation, stability amidst change, time management. That is clarifying the Six of Wands. Clarify the Nine of Swords in the reverse. The Nine of Swords is clarified with the King of Swords. Structured routine, intelligent, rational, logical power, authority, strength, manners, conversation, discerning, detached, able to make head over heart decisions. King of Swords, this card word is truth for the Nine of Swords in the reverse. Clarify the Knight of Wands. Clarify the Knight of Wands for the ghetto read. The Knight of Wands is clarified with the Page of Pentacles. It is in the upright. So the Knight of Wands is clarified with good news in earthly matters, solid beginnings, setting goals, opportunity to increase income, books, negotiations, an open-minded person, scholars, one who is willing to learn, someone you can count on, and that clarifies the Knight of Wands in the upright. So that's what's going on there with that. I got three different cards that came out with this. So final outcome of this. The Queen of Wands in the upright. Good business sense, confidence, foresight, an attractive, magnetic, mature woman. A helpful friend who is well liked, a kind, loyal, generous, confident. A competitive woman who enjoys enterprise and limelight, and also values her home and family life. The word is vibrancy. We also got the Page of Swords in the reverse, which is going to clarify the Queen of Wands. Malice, hypocrisy, suspicion, problem, someone who is unconcerned with the feelings of others. And the third and final card, Ten of Swords in the upright. Endings and defeat. Backstabbing, betrayal, enemies, bitching, bad-mouthing, bitterness, doormat, failure, ruin, collapse, breakdown, exhaustion, inability to cope, curses, rock bottom, hitting a wall, dead end, serving ties, goodbyes, and nail in the coffin. Well, dang. Now that right there is a karmic ghetto read. Let me tell you, they ain't up to nothing nice right now. Let me tell you. Because I can tell you what's in the thought process with this Ten of Swords. I can tell you. But I bet you already know. Is there any other messages for this ghetto read. Is there any other messages for this karmic ghetto read? 2 more cards. 4 wands, 4 of wands in the upright. Community. Happy families, reunion, coming home, celebrations. This is actually for the collective now. We're starting on the collective read for the collective. So, the first card for the collective is the 4 of wands. Happy families, reunion, coming home, celebrations, surprises, parties, weddings, events, feeling welcome, community or family coming together, community service, teamwork, success, and prosperity. Clarifying the 4 of wands, this one came out too. The 3 of swords in the reverse, releasing pain, overcoming depression, optimism, forgiveness. The worst is over. Thank God, collective. The worst is over. The worst is over. So, let me see these ones. For the collective read. For the collective read. For the collective. For the collective that's enduring the spiritual attacks from the ghetto. Spiritual attacks from the ghetto at the collective. The collective is now finally saved. But what does the collective need to know? Can I get one more for the collective, please? Two of Cups, collective. It has arrived. Union, partnership, connection, harmony, respect, balance, emotional bond, understanding, intimacy, trust, equality, proposals, engagements, and marriage. The word on this one is love. For the 3 of swords is pain, and community was on the 4 of wands. The next one that came out, temperance in the reverse, collective, imbalance, self-indulgence, excess, clashing, lack of perspective, discord, antagonism, reckless hastiness. Well, we don't want to take it to that one, but this is actually clarifying the 4 of wands. So, collective. The 4 of wands is the happy families reunion coming home. And I did ask, what is they're going to do? They're going to try to imbalance us over this next full moon and get us to try to do self-indulgence, and they're going to try to get us up out of, our peaceful state of mind. They're going to antagonize us, they're going to cause discord, reckless, and they're going to be hasty. But that's pretty much every single full moon and new moon. So that's no news there. And that's clarifying the 4 of wands. So that's what they're going to attempt. Clarifying the 3 of swords in the reverse, please. Well, that was fast. Instantly, strength came out in the reverse. Vulnerability, self-doubt, weakness, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, feeling inadequate, impotence, and being bullied. This is clarifying the releasing pain, overcoming depression and optimism, forgiveness, the worst is over. So where you don't want to go is to self-doubt, low self-esteem. You don't want to feel inadequate and We're finding a way to stop being bullied by speaking our truth. And that is what we all need to do. Clarify the Two of Cups for the collective. Clarify the Two of Cups for the collective. Clarify the Two of Cups for the collective. The Moon. Intuition, illusions, dreams, vagueness, instability, deception, anxiety, fear, misconception, subconscious, insecurity, past conditioning, affects present behavior. Things are not what they seem. So collective, with our love, it's a no-go for me. See, I won't even entertain this right here because it's not the right one. Okay? The moon is going to shine down on this Two of Cups, and it's going to show us the truth when it gets here. And it's a blue moon, so once in a blue moon. What else does the collective, what's the final outcome for the collective over this coming full moon? Final outcome for the collective. Final outcome for the collective. Wheel of Fortune in the upright. Good luck, destiny, chance, karma, soulmates, decisive moments, cycles of life, fate, fortune, upheaval, chance, gambling. You cannot step into the same river twice. The word on it is maybe, and it's the number 10. The moon was the number 18. And on the moon card it says, the path may not be clear, but my intuition lights the way, one step at a time. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the final outcome in the reverse will be broached by the reverse Queen of Pentacles. Insecurity, instability, fear, sometimes who is lazy, suspicious, lacks motivation and feels insecure and neglects her responsibilities. So, the Queen of Pentacles is in the reverse, and the word in reverse is abundance. What's the advice for collective? What can they do leading up to this full moon? What do they need to do for the full moon? Hold on. Stay in peace. That's what I'm hearing. Stay in peace. Stay firm. Don't give up and don't give in, but stay in peace. Your peace is everything, and you're guarding and protecting it with your life if you have to. That's how I feel about my peace. Ever since I stopped listening to people and started listening to God, I have had peace. Peace of mind, peace of body, and peace of soul. And I have been very grateful for that peace, because anytime anybody tries to scare me, that peace comes in. And I'm not jumping around all freaked out. I have practiced my meditation so much that I am choosing to remain in peace. I once asked St. Michael what did he do to have a good time, because I smoke bud, and I wondered if, the angels ever did that. But St. Michael told me the truth. He said that what he enjoys the most, besides coffee, he enjoys his meditations that he does, because he's a traveler, and he can travel around to the different planets and stars. So that's what he enjoys doing. And when he said that to me, I really listened to him, and I got deep into my meditation after that. I started off by listening to ocean waves and crickets in the summer night. But now I listen to frequencies that help me heal and that help me have more peace of mind, more relaxing when I'm sleeping. But I do most of my meditation when I'm sleeping. I will do a meditation before I do reads, but I don't really like doing it during the daytime because it's so busy. It's quieter at night and easier to get it done without all the noise. So that's how I do it. Anyways, final messages for the collective. Final messages for the collective. Final messages for the collective. 5 of Wands. Competition, fighting, arguments, disagreements, struggles, opposition, battles, aggression, temper, clashing personalities, ego strikes, chaos, disobedience, being defensive, territorial, and assertive. Going back to what I just said, do not allow any of what I just said to come into your sphere of safety and peace, because that's exactly what they're trying to do. They want to bring you down into a lower level energy, piss you off, get you to get too effed up, whatever. They're going to try it. You got to be strong and say, no, I'm not going to do this. Anything else, Divine Holy Spirit? Four of Swords, confirming what I just said. Fighting mental strength, awakening, rejoining the world, coming out of isolation. That sounds like a good idea. I have a story I would like to tell about how and when I started my journey here at YouTube. When I first started my journey, it was because I had gotten some stalkers over at Facebook. So I thought I'd be safer at YouTube. It turns out I was probably wrong about that, for sure. But I went to different places on YouTube because I was still studying my spirituality. And I started at Witchland, and I didn't linger there too long because I saw what was happening there. There was a bunch of good spiritualists in there, but there was other things going on there, and I decided to go and entertain ghost hunters and Slab City after that. So I found someone at Slab City. I'm not going to say her name, but she's the librarian down there. And I recognize that librarian from Purgatory. And she was a bartender there. I had gone over to her channel, and because I knew her from Purgatory, and because I knew she had worked over 100 years in Purgatory to put a curse on my ass, and that's where I decided to hang out and watch videos at Slab City. I viewed her journey from Slab City to Alaska, and that was an interesting journey indeed. Because I've seen some things in some of her videos where it was very obvious that her whole face had turned black, and she's a white girl. And it was very obvious that she was doing the dark arts. At one point in time, I knew that she had gotten a hold of a forbidden book. And I found out the truth about this by paying attention to her comment sections underneath her videos. And when me and a 33-degree Mason had discovered that there was a keyboard warrior over here at Slab City, we waited for it until I found this comment in the comment section, because it's all I had to go on. And I do study with Thoth. So, and he is a librarian in heaven who keeps a tight ship when it comes to them books. And they're under lock and key up there. They're very difficult to access unless you're a librarian for heaven. Okay? So that's pretty difficult of a forbidden book to get. But somehow, this librarian in Slab City was able to access this. And I wanted to know how. Exactly how does somebody do this? Because there's plenty of bodies out there in that desert, and we all know about it. At any rate, how does somebody get such a forbidden book? You know what I mean? So in her comment section, while I was over there trying to figure that all out, I went through all these comments in her section, and way buried down in the bottom of it, there was someone, one of her friends, and she was letting her know, it's about to go off. You're about to get busted for that book you took. And basically they said, warn the librarian. So they were telling a librarian to warn another librarian, and that librarian was not Thoth. That's how she ended up in spiritual court. I heard that when she is in spiritual court, she's very nervous and is not able to sit still at her court dates at all. She has a cousin that lives in Minnesota because that's where she's from. And her cousin in Minnesota happens to be, and I got a screenshot of the two of them together because, well, that librarian down there in Slab City, after she figured out what she'd done and who she'd done it to, she turned into a man. So now, she has this cousin or somebody. It's not somebody, it's somebody that we know. And I'm going to mention it because I seen this librarian at her home.